All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Super excited to see you guys on today as we do have some special guests. So super excited to go into that. So give me a second here. I want to make sure that I am not having too much sound on in my background. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. You guys know the kinks to work out as soon as you get something started. All right. So, of course, again, today we're going to go over one new tool that's going to help you guys improve your credit score the right way. And I'm super excited to have these special guest speakers today. And of course, for many of you who have been watching the channel, you guys probably know me by now. Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credits and FICO professional, FICO certified professional as well. And of course, between my wife and I, we do have the local real estate brokerage here as well to help our clients transition from renting to home ownership or rental property ownership. So, and you guys know that from the videos that you watch. But this time we're going to shake things up a bit. All right. But first, I know many of you have seen the post about the gift card that we are giving out today. All right. So you're going to see the link is going to be inside of the chat. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. All right. So now here's the deal. We want to have it where the very first person that goes through and creates an account with Smart Credit. Now, of course, if you already have one, you won't be able to do that. But if you don't have one, you most definitely want to make sure that you get a chance to take advantage of that. All right. And one of our guest speakers is arriving as well. All right. So that's number one. The link is going to be in here. Let me make sure that you guys can see that. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here inside the chat, guys. So the first person to get a membership with Smart Credit, you guys will get the gift card. And at the end, we will let you guys know what's going on, guys. Yes, chime in. Let us know where you guys are watching us from. Orlando, Florida. What's going on? MJ's in the house. I don't know if that's Michael Jordan, but hey, if it is, we need a discount on those shoes. All right, so I put that link inside of there as well. All right, and then when you guys are able to do that, go ahead and type in done, DONE. Let us know, and we'll let you guys know the winner at the end of everything. All right, so you guys know about me. Now let's learn a little bit more about our special guests. And of course, we're going to start with ladies first. So our first special guest speaker is going to be Jimena Cortez. And how are you, Jimena?
I'm good, Calvin. Thanks for having us on here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am the VP of Product Partnerships here at Smart Credit, and I've been with the company since 2016. So I'm really excited to share with you guys a different way in which you can really take control of your finances and take action on your credit and get results, not just monitor it, but really get some real plans, some real results that you can stand behind and that you can also protect for longevity.
Awesome. Awesome. I like it already. Everyone likes results, right? That's the whole point of doing all of this, right? And absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, we do have our second special guest speaker as well. So Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Steve Raver. I'm the Executive Vice President of Sales for Consumer Direct and our flagship product, Smart Credit. But probably more of relevance to you all, I spent 27 years working for TransUnion. Wow. And I ran one of TransUnion's 2 operation centers where if you had a dispute relative to your credit report or requesting a copy of your credit report, or you were calling in to say, hey, help me understand this. I ran the team of a couple hundred people in that operation center in California. So I'm the guy that understands the credit bureaus, how they work, how the dispute process works. And I'm an expert in credit.
Awesome. Awesome. And, it's always great to hear directly from people who have worked for the bureaus. It's always like it's a secret society or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's really all about making sure that people know what their options are. And that's why you guys are representing, Smart Credit, to make sure that people know that they can not only track, where their scores are, but they can actually put together, at least a strategy so they can start seeing some results. So thank you guys for sharing that. So now, what makes your software different? We know that there's a lot of stuff out there, right? A lot of free stuff. I don't want to, name certain things, but you guys know the stuff that's out there. But what makes you guys stand apart, or what do you all feel that keeps you guys different from the other softwares that's out there?
Sure. Well, I'll start. So I really feel that where we're different is we're really an all-in-one solution, meaning you can take action on your credit. And I'll share some of that with you guys too. I'll walk you through what that looks like, because it's so much easier to visualize it than to see it. But you can also manage your finances all in one place. You can get identity insurance, and you can have your personal privacy protected. So there's really no other place online that covers everything in one. To get everything that we offer, you literally have to buy multiple services. And so you're saving a lot of time and a lot of money by just using the one. And I'll go ahead and share my screen. But Steve, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think that's a great way to put it, Hamina. And we as the credit experts, right, that understand how the credit bureaus work, we've really taken what might be a more static way to understand and utilize your finances, and we've made that more interactive, and we've allowed people to come in and maximize the credit score, maximize how they utilize that credit by really kind of gamifying the system, if you will, so people can use our widgets and our tools, and as if you understand it better, you're gonna get more out of it.
Absolutely. And I think that that's very key. What Steve just mentioned is a lot of times people have access to certain things, but they're not sure how to use those tools. And so I'm glad you mentioned that. And Hamina, you mentioned you were going to be sharing your screen so we can kind of see it, kind of see how everything goes in a sense.
Yeah, I just need to be able to
Oh,
share.
my bad. That's my fault.
It's all good. I was
Man.
messaging Roshanda, like, hey, sharing access.
There you go. There you go.
All right, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into a test account. And so what you can see here is the member homepage. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the score tracker. I think that's very self-explanatory. And that's one of the things that you can get a lot of places is your credit score. This is being pulled from TransUnion. It's the Vantage 2.0 score. We have, in addition to that, added your auto score, your insurance score, and hiring risk index, meaning if you're looking for a job, this is how employers see you. So some higher paying jobs sometimes might be looking, at your credit as a hiring decision, and you can track changes over time. So that's all great and dandy. Where we really have our patents and where we're different from everybody else is really going to be our score builder and our score boost features. So you can see here, if I'm starting with a credit score of 639, that's who I am today, but who I could be tomorrow is this 807, and I've got 90 points in Score Builder and 78 points in Score Boost. So let's see how I can do that. Now, if I'm in a loan process and I'm trying to buy a house or trying to get approved for an apartment or anything like that, this is going to be the feature that I'm going to want to use to get the points the fastest. And basically, taking a look at your credit cards, we figured out on the financial institutions what your pay by date is. So it's not your due date. It's not a certain amount of days after your statement closes. It's the date by when the financial institutions are going to report your amount, your credit card amount, credit card statement to the bureaus. So in order for you to maximize your points, you need to pay, for example, on this particular scenario, if I've got a budget of let's say 6,000, right? On these credit cards, I can pay $5,200 on my Capital One card, and that's going to give me 37 points in 23 days. So we've mined these dates from all the financial institutions out there. There's a lot of calculation and math behind using this very simple dial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see here when your credit score is going to update.
Look at that. I love it already.
Well, and it's true that not all payments are created equal.
Yeah.
So you can pay off a credit card But that's only one moment in time, because unless you don't ever charge on that credit card again after you've paid it off, at some point it's going to have a balance again. And then that balance, depending on when that reporting cycle is with the credit bureaus, it's going to report whatever that balance is in that one moment in time. So you want to be able to sync up that moment in time and when your balance is zero to be when that data is reported to the credit bureaus. And we help you perfect that.
Wow.
Alternatively, we'll also show you, like, you're going to go on a spending spree, like, hey, you can lose this many points if you don't, pay by a certain date and when it's going to update and all of that. So it really gives you a clear picture as to how to leverage this data. I'll give an example of, for me, I'm usually somebody that I used to pay my cards off on the very last day I possibly could, because I was like, why not, right? I didn't know any different. But I would always pay them off in the full statement balance. However, my credit score would always teeter like in the 730s, 740s range. Now I'm usually in the 790s, and I didn't do anything different, like nothing. All I did was use this.
Wow.
Game changer.
Yeah, major game changer. And I like what Steve had mentioned as well, too. It's more so, here's the thing. Not only is this tool showing you guys, what the estimated amount of points you should be able to get if you do X, Y, Z. And for a lot of people, sometimes it is just credit cards, to be honest, and because people do have credit cards and they have no idea, or maybe they've forgotten how much of an impact this really plays into their credit scores. I think this is a great tool, because that way people can at least see, okay, if I do X, Y, Z, and it's not just paying things off. Sometimes it's also I would say preparing for certain things too, like, Black Friday or, Christmas season, things of that sort. People have already planned, which bills they were going to pay possibly, or just in general, how much they're going to use. But if they got a vacation coming up, at least they can kind of see how, what that threshold may end up being if they have certain things that are coming up, positive or negative. I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, Calvin, I mean, you raise a great point. So if somebody's going to go, spend $4,000 on Christmas gifts, that's what they've set their budget at, and they're not going to be able to pay for it with cash out of their bank account, and they know they're going to have to, put it on a credit card or credit cards. Yeah. How they do that will determine to the extent that their credit score is impacted. And so, you're going to scroll in this case to the left with Score Boost to say you're going to spend $4,000, and it's going to say, this is how much you charge on each credit card to minimize the impact on your credit score. It may be charge it all on one card, or it might say put $2,000 on card A, $1,000 on card B, and $1,000 on card C.
Awesome. Absolutely. Especially at a time right now, a lot of people are encouraging people to not use their debit cards as much, and people are now transitioning to using their credit cards. But then if they're new to it, I think the expectation is now being set a little bit better when they see something like this, where they can kind of see, hey, you know what, if I do this, and this will be affected. I think that's a great reminder.
Exactly. And the other part of it too is, I've got these 78 points in the Score Boost, but I've got another 90 in Score Builder. So if you've got negatives on your account, this is another place where you can take action. And again, we hold the patents on this technology as well. So this is not something that you can get elsewhere. So initially you'll get, a little bit of a tutorial, which I'll skip through for sake of time. We'll show you what's helping your score. So, okay, great. Now we'll show you what's hurting your score. Now, most places are going to stop there and say, hey, here's some advice, go do it yourself kind of thing. But here is, you can actually take an action yourself. So if let's say this was so you can see here, there's a 30, 60, and 90-day late on this particular account. I can say, click here. I was not 90 days late. I can give a reason as to why. And then I can say confirm mail delivery. So we're going to send that letter to the creditor. So this is not going to the bureaus. I want to make that clear. We've partnered with over 60,000 financial institutions. So communicating directly with the creditor, they, by law, have 30 days to respond. Should they approve your request here, they have to, by law, also notify all three bureaus. So you can get it taken care of with everybody, just with one place. Now, is it going to work 100% of the time? No, there's no guarantees. Might you have to send multiple letters? Might you have to send letters to the bureaus as well? Potentially. But does it work? Yes. People get results? Yes. Is it always going to happen? No.
Yeah.
Well, let me share you a story from my credit bureau experience. Right, we would frequently get letters or phone calls, email from people saying, "Hey, a late payment on my credit report was a mistake." Okay, now that late payment didn't just show up on the credit report because TransUnion did some sort of input error or something, right? That late payment showed up because a furnisher of data sent that to TransUnion. Now, that doesn't mean that it's accurate, but the fact is they sent it to the credit bureau. So we would get these calls and people would say, "Hey, this late payment's wrong." And TransUnion would then go in and say, "You know what? Yeah, it appears this late payment's wrong." And we would hit the delete button, right? I mean, I hit that delete button probably thousands of times when I was at TransUnion. But inevitably, over the next 30 days, that furnisher would then retransmit data back to TransUnion and to the other credit bureaus, and they would then put that late payment back on the credit report. Okay.
Wow.
And so they would, quote, re-report it. And there's certain things that the credit bureaus can prevent from re-reporting. There's certain things that they can't. And this is why direct to furnisher disputes are most impactful and important, because you can change it with the credit bureau, but that doesn't mean the furnisher isn't going to keep reporting that over and over and over again. So until you go back to them directly and fix it with them, the problem really isn't truly fixed. And so Score Builder and these action buttons are going to allow you to fix it with the source.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. You know what? I think this is huge, especially for people who want to at least try to do certain things on their own. Or, there's not necessarily whether they want to work with the company or not, what the case may be, but people are already using a credit monitoring tool because it only makes sense to monitor your credit just, as an adult. At the same time, when you're using something like this, you're not just seeing what your scores are. You can see what your scores could potentially be with Score Boost. You can see, what your scores could be with the Score Builder. So I think that's huge. And then, of course, what Steve just mentioned, bureaus have ways that they kind of do things, and at least you can stay on top of it. And then Jimena just mentioned how, you can send, essentially a letter directly to the creditors. And sounds like they're adding creditors all the time. Now, of course, it sounds like to me, of course, some things will happen a certain way and some things may not happen a certain way. And that's the expectations, guys. But keep in mind, this is just a part of what you need, but this is most definitely going to be icing on the cake. I think it's a great tool. So also too, guys, for those of you who are just joining us, I know a lot of you all are just joining us now in different areas and such. Go ahead and drop in the chat where you guys are watching us from. It's always cool to kind of see where people are watching us from. And then also too, if you guys haven't done so already, if you haven't done so already, go ahead. If the first person to go ahead and create their account with Smart Credit today using the link that's inside the chat. And then, of course, just type in done. We'll let you know who's going to win the Amazon gift card on today. So the link is inside the chat as well. As a matter of fact, I do not want to miss out on this opportunity, to have representatives that actually represent a credit monitoring company, as well as Steve, who has a previous background working with TransUnion. So let's go ahead and open up the floor. This is actually a special treat for you, for all the viewers watching this today. Does anyone have any questions, while they are here? This is one of the few opportunities in life that you'll get a chance to get those questions answered. If you guys got questions, right? And it looks like Michigan is in the house. Michigan's in here heavy. Texas is here as well. And then let us know, guys, if you guys got any questions. I do have one question just to kind of kick off the Q&A. Now, I believe you mentioned, Jimena, earlier that they can protect their credit using this software. How does that work? Or was I right on that? Yeah,
no, you're absolutely right on that. So there's a few ways in which you can do that. So if I go back to the homepage, with us, you get $1 million of identity fraud insurance. To be able to get that level of coverage elsewhere, you're typically going to pay upwards of $30 a month. We're a lot more cost effective than that. plus with all the features. So that's one way. The other way is we give you real-time alerts. So I was actually able to stop fraud on my American Express recently. Somebody was charging up a hotel stay. To Amex, it's very normal that I travel, but I got the emails and the text messages from Smart Credit telling me like, hey, is this your charge? So I've got my alerts set up. So anything over $100, I get this email. And so basically what I've done is I've put all my checking, savings, all my credit cards, all my accounts in here. So any activity on any of my financial accounts, I get notified if anything's happening. So I can stop fraud, before my credit card would have ever told me, because I wouldn't have figured this out until 2 months later when I finally log in. So you can see here where you can set those up. Wow. That's what I was saying. It's really an all-in-one platform. And I do have, this is a newer feature. So right now I'm in a test account. So I'm going to log into my real account. So I'm not sharing my screen for 1 minute. So show you guys the other feature that we've added for the protection, because it's one thing to build your credit. It's another thing to, now that you've built something that is great, you want to protect it. So you want the insurance. You also don't want your information being sold out in the internet just to anyone and everyone. And there's a lot of websites that are out there selling your personal information without really your permission. I mean, all these places had my personal information. And so we've developed what's called Privacy Master. And you can see here that I requested the removal from 18 different sites, and 10 have removed it so far. They're selling my previous address, my current address. I mean, you can steal my identity so easily this way, right? Or show up at my house if you're a stalker, and I don't want none of that. So, and you can see that there's 8 still pending, and I kept 2 because they were not me.
Gotcha. Wow, this is a great feature. I was just showing someone, I forgot the name of the company, but there was, I showed them a website where it had all of their information. It just had I would say basics, but it had, their first name, of course, their last name, their date of birth. It had previous emails they've used, previous phone numbers they've been associated with. And you'd be surprised, guys. And it also had associated relatives. And the stuff was spot on. Like, it was spot on. So even if, a person didn't mean to find that type of information, it's good to know that there's at least a narrowed down version, a one-click solution to try to remove a lot of that. We do have a question, by the way. Sure. So now we got a couple different questions. So one, do your tools support business credit too, or just personal credit for now?
Steve, you want to take that?
Yeah, it's personal credit. We are working on a business credit type platform, and we'll have that at some point. But yeah, Smart Credit is for personal credit. Gotcha.
Wow. Well, you already let the cat out the bag. Y'all working on some stuff, man. That's good to know. Steve is getting us the juice, the sauce, everything. So awesome. That's good to know. That's good to know. And guys, we got time for one more question, because I want to make sure we announce the winner. I don't want to hold you guys too long. The next question is, how often should I check my credit reports?
Routinely. I mean, part of it should be driven by what are your lifestyle plans, in the coming future. So, for example, if I'm going to buy a house in the next 6 or 12 months, I likely want to be checking my credit report pretty regularly. On the other hand, if you're like my parents, they've got everything that they've ever wanted. They're not going to buy anything new. You probably don't need to go in and check and look at your credit report every day, but you need somebody keeping track of it, because you're not only worried about, say, errors and things that are being reported inaccurately by the credit bureaus, but you're also concerned about things like identity theft. And you don't want to wait until you check your credit report next month to find out about identity theft. You want to find out about it as it's happening. And so we allow you at Smart Credit to do both things. You can literally come in every day if you want, hit refresh on your credit report and get an update every day. Doesn't cost you any more to update it every day. Or you can more set it and forget it and just let the credit monitoring and the other tools do the work, and then be alerted if something suspicious creeps up, like a new negative item or identity theft.
Wow. Game changers, guys. Most definitely some game changers there. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys' time. today, sharing this information, actually walking us through how to use these tools. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's so much stuff that we're buying, but we're not maximizing it, and I think this is most definitely going to put people on the right track to accomplish their credit goals, like, home ownership, buying a car, leasing a car, refinancing a car, lowering your car payment, or just looking to overall improve your credit score. Real quick, guys, before everyone leaves, looks like we have Prana home. So I'm going to go ahead and put her inside. I don't know if it's a her, I don't know if it's a he. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here the winner for the Amazon gift card. So all you have to do, Prana, is just email us when you can. All right. And then we'll let you know the next instructions to make that happen. So of course, congratulations to you. And guys, look, even if you didn't win the Amazon gift card, it's okay. You still can take advantage of this one new tool and see, okay, what happens if I do XYZ? I plan on going on a trip soon and putting this on my credit card. I plan on, or I plan on doing XYZ. At least you'll be able to move that along and kind of see what that's going to end up being. I think that's a huge game changer. Anything you guys want to leave with everyone today, with the audience today, before we wrap up? Jimena?
No, I'd just like to say, thanks for having us. We've been doing this for a long time. We are very good at what we do. So if you're looking for something more than just credit monitoring and really taking control of your whole finances, growing your credit score, protecting it, and really having the regular checkups, getting alerts sent to you like I did to stop fraud, then there's no better place to do that than with us.
Awesome.
And I'll add one last thing. So, congratulations, Prana, on being that first enrollment, but we want to reward some more enrollments. And so for the next 5 people, so this would be numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that signed up, we'll send you out a Smart Credit t-shirt and some other swag.
Wow. Listen, I'm going to have to sign up again myself. I can give me some swag. And I think that's amazing. And then also too, Steve, I did want to squeeze this another question in. It just so happens that you worked for TransUnion in the past. I don't know if this would pertain to anything, but they said that they're having the same creditor reporting to TransUnion every single month when it's over 7 years old. Could you elaborate on why that could be?
Well, yeah, and the term that a lot of people will use is re-aging. So an account gets re-aged, and so. The way the Fair Credit Reporting Act is written, it talks about when negative stuff has to come off, right? Positive stuff, in theory, the credit bureaus can keep on the credit report forever. Now, at some point, it gets old and stale, and they just want to delete it because, something that happened 25 years ago doesn't really matter. But if it's negative, it has to come off in 7 years. Now, bankruptcies are the exception. That could be 10 years. But anything else, if it's negative, it has to come off after 7 years. Things like late payments, those are actually date stamped, and those things will liably come off after the 7 years. But if you have collection accounts, what the credit bureaus look for is something called the date of last activity or the date of first delinquency. There's kind of different ways which it's referred to, and then the 7 years are calculated from that. And it's the responsibility of the furnisher to send that to the credit bureaus. And usually what happens is when a debt gets sold off to a debt buyer or to a collection agency or something, they don't get that date properly, and then they fill it in with the current date, that when it was assigned for collection. And then the 7 years kind of starts over from that. And that's what's called re-aging. And that's not legal. And this shouldn't be happening.
Wow.
And we are going to help you with that. So when you look at Smart Credit and you look at the credit report, one of the fields you're going to see is that date of first delinquency or last activity. And if that is not when that account technically first went delinquent before leading to a collection or a charge off, you can dispute that information with the furnisher and they have to correct it.
Awesome. Thanks for answering that, because, so many times people don't we just need certain things confirmed. There's so much information out there. People watch my channel. They know, they like it, they trust it. I come from the car industry, come from the real estate industry. So it's always good to just hear from people that's actually in the credit industry and helping just regular consumers understand this whole chaos a lot better. So thanks again, guys. We greatly appreciate your time. Hopefully we'll be doing something again soon. And listen, and by the way, again, guys, don't forget, you guys do get that smart credit swag. So the next 5 people to do that. So we put the link down there as well, too. And of course, as always, if you guys like this video, like it, you want to share it, and be sure to subscribe, as we have nothing but great content like this video coming soon, guys. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thank you, Calvin.
No problem. You guys have a